When I started developing first product, it was really hard to sell. There's no Kbeauty. American products dominate the world. But now most of our products are exported in the US, Europe, Middle East, all over Asia.
So as a Korean entrepreneur,
Yes.
what is the biggest lesson learned? Kbeauty has taken the world by storm. High quality and affordable skincare products made by Korean firms are now fixtures in beauty supply stores around the world. But there is another side to Korea's successful skincare industry. State-of-the-art lasers used by dermatologists around the world to improve skin health and restore skin damage. One Korean company in particular, Lutronic, is now one of the world's leaders of these specialized medical machines. Our globalist today is Lutronic's founder and chairman, Hwang Hae-ryung, who tells us how a Korean entrepreneur with a global mindset and technical prowess conquered the world. So, Chairman Hwang, welcome to the Globalists.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. It's a great pleasure.
We're very glad you took the time to come visit us because we are very interested in Lutronic, your company. It's not a household name. What products does Lutronic produce?
So we make lasers and energy-based devices that doctors use at the dermatology and medical beauty clinics to treat skin, to make you look younger, remove your wrinkles, remove blemishes, and remove a lot of things that, even hair. So anything related to aesthetic, that's what we produce. We provide lasers and our products to about 90% of the aesthetic medical clinics, like dermatologists in Korea. And
90%.
90% of the clinics use our products. And globally, but most of our products are exported in the US, Europe, Middle East, all over Asia, Japan, China. So these are products that physically, with a very long clinical evidence-based studies, physically treat your skin in such a way it does not harm, but it promotes healing in a way that makes it younger.
Oh, it's music to my ears, and I'm sure many persons' ears.
We're making a living on that.
Oh, yeah. You're making a living on making people look better in a way. But okay, so skincare means lotion, all the things that you put on your face. Then, there's that massage. You can have a hand doing your massage.
Right.
But you're saying it's machines, it's lasers, it's technology. How does that deal with bad skin?
So fundamentally, the concept uses called it's in a very selective way. It targets a color or targets a certain portion of the skin and causes a damage that's not enough to cause scar, but sufficient damage so that it promotes healing. So in the healing process, your skin gets younger, your skin removes blemishes and creates a much better, more beautiful, effective results.
Yeah, because you bring up an interesting subject because we always think about sun damage.
Right.
So sun is also a type of ray.
That's right.
But what your rays do are do something that's actually good for the skin.
Exactly. So this is after many years of study at famous universities, which we also do studies at these places such as Harvard or even Seoul National University and others here and globally. And it's proven that creating a certain kind of damage, not broad damage, spectrum damage like sun, but certain kind of selective damage. So for instance, like if you get a shot with a needle, you don't see any scars, right?
Yeah.
You just see it does puncture your skin and it does damage, but you don't see any scars because it's not big enough. So in a similar way, if you use laser or energy-based devices to cause a very selective damage, that promotes healing and a certain kind of healing, and these healings promote. So now there have been some studies in Denmark at Copenhagen University where they used a cancerous mouse that's prone to have a cancer, and they use a certain fractional kind of laser, and they treated the skin of these mice, and they discovered that the rate of cancer is much reduced. So what they're discovering is that using this kind of treatment causes improvement in the youth and health of the skin. So this is a very fundamentally scientifically based, evidence-based treatment process that doctors are providing. And we make the devices that does that.
So in a way, it sort of forces the skin to rejuvenate itself.
Exactly. It creates a natural stimulation in such a way that in healing process, your skin becomes more active, more youthful.
I see. That is that's actually a much more high-tech kind
absolutely.
of approach than I thought.
But it's not just making some device and just causing a wound, but it's based on many years of study. Even we start from the animal studies and prove that it's safe and effective, and then we do years of also clinical study, and then we make a product actually delivers what we study. So using high level of physics and electronics to make this happen. So as our technology is getting better, this technology is becoming to be very safe, easy to use. Part of our job is make sure that we deliver the right product, and then also we deliver right training, and then we make sure that the equipments are well functioning so that it does what we're promising the doctors to do. So this is very high level science, but the important thing is that it's becoming more readily available to everyone, and it's becoming safer and easier to use, so that the ability for doctors to treat skin is becoming easier, better, and with little or no side effect.
So what you're saying is that most dermatologists now,
absolutely. So
around the world,
absolutely, globally, not a single dermatologist worldwide that does not use some kind of energy or laser-based device to treat aesthetically.
So
It is a very, very popular.
So what is the global market like for this?
Global market, I don't have the exact size of the market. It's obviously in tens of billions of dollars, and this is really growing. And not only that, because technology is becoming more easier to use, more doctors adapting it, and annually 15 to 20% increasing in this business. Even for us, we have a huge pipeline of technology in the works that we're going to be introducing going forward. And that's going to make it's good for us, but also good for the customers. In the end, the customers are patients, right? People who are interested in staying younger. Now people are living longer. People are living more healthy lifestyle. So obviously looking more beautiful is part of this whole needs that's being the trend.
Yeah,
I say
long
lifestyle
life,
trend.
living a long and healthy life.
Absolutely. And beautiful.
And beautiful
right?
life.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow. Right. So it's a market that's being created almost as year by year, because people in the past didn't know there was such an option. Right.
Originally, this technology started with treating vessels. People with port wine stain, really big red marks. And they were trying to find a way to selectively treat the vessels without causing scar.
I see.
So that was originally started at Harvard. And then they also looked at birthmarks, and those birthmarks, not vessels, but more pigment birthmarks, and tried to treat those selectively. In the olden days, even Korea, if you have a big birthmark, you would never get married. People would ostracize you. They think that you're something wrong with you, and then do it. But our technology enabled these people to be treated without any scar, no side effects, and completely normal. And in the early days of our early days when this was just becoming adapted, the people who got treated actually, some of my doctor friends, they tell me after they got treated, they come and they just crying because they say, especially for a young woman, they said, now I can get married. Now I can get married. So there was a big impact, life-changing thing, but this technology is expanding its function because now we understand more about tissue, and in understanding about more about tissue, now we're providing more different technologies that's going to enhance, and not just the pigment or vessel related, but just aging, anti-aging is part of the anti-aging process. So this is, and we're discovering more that the more use a selective way, it's not a side effect, but promotes the youth. It's promotes the youth of your skin.
Oh. I have to say, honestly, I have not undergone one of your treatments, but it
Well, you
sounds
don't
very,
need it.
very convincing.
You don't need it, but I'm going to make you 10 years younger.
So, I mean, the promise or the possibility of looking younger, of looking more healthier. I mean, not in terms of just the weight, but skin.
Sure.
It's a new concept, but it's actually a very attractive concept.
Oh, I would say if you're young in your 30s and early 40s, do the treatments to prevent aging. But if you're older, do the treatment to become more younger. And whether you're man or woman, I think this should be kind of lifestyle thing. And I believe that maybe in 5 to 10 years, cosmetic treatment is like getting a haircut, right? So I'm gonna go get my rejuvenate my skin.
Oh my, going to the dentist almost.
That's right, exactly, right. So we know that scaling your teeth will keep your teeth, healthy. So treating your I'm not talking about like a beauty clinic. I'm talking about medical clinic, right?
Yeah.
Treating your skin is going to keep you stay younger and then delay the aging effect. So I believe that this is going to be part of the daily thing, maybe in 5, 10, or 20 years. That people will not think that, oh, wow, you got this treatment. Wow, maybe you're fake. But I think people say, oh, that's great. Where is a good place these days?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it'll be a common discussion among people.
So it's not cosmetic surgery.
No. It's a very minimally invasive way of treating your skin that has a little or no downtime, not like a scar, right? So when you do a facelifting, for instance, you're stretching the skin and you're cutting it and then doing it. So you are leaving the fundamental structure alone. You're just stretching it so that it looks tighter. Here, you're not cutting anything. You're just selectively affecting the portions of tissue so that tissue gets more collagen, regenerates collagen, more, adapts and shapes in a way that, that it becomes more healthy and younger. So I recommend it for everyone.
So you're sort of like getting the skin into shape.
Oh, absolutely.
Put them together and you combine the Genius and the Ultra for total skin, that's a slam dunk because you're getting all layers of the skin and really just getting your patient the best result.
We want a company that we can trust, that makes good technology, that works, that's not going to fail, and will do just what it says it will. Lutronic does that.
So tell us a little bit about you, about Hwang Hae-ryung.
Sure.
You started Lutronic how many years ago?
About 25, a little more than 25 years
ago. But you are an electrical engineer by training?
Well, not really. So I went to college. I went to Yale.
Yeah.
And when I went there, it's a great school. And I started as an electronic engineer. And I thought, because when I was young, I used to love making things. I used to make the radios and things like that. So I said, okay, this is what I want to do. And then when I went there, I said, oh my God, do I want to sit in a lab and, do these kind of things all my life?
Machines.
Yeah, and then I just realized, I didn't want to do that. So I switched my junior year to economics because I didn't have to do any mathematics. When I took some courses, it was great, a lot of fun. It's understanding in a numerical way about the world. Having studied that makes me kind of like, I understand something about business or maybe about the way of looking at the world. But having some electronic background, I can talk to the engineers. I can see from engineering perspective. But my grandfather was this like really great tinkerer. He's always making things. He never went to regular school. He's like old guy, farmer in Korea, in the country. So he had a farm, and I grew up, a little kid, playing his fields and stuff. But he was always tinkerer. So I think I kind of got some of his DNA.
Yeah. So when was the point in which your tinkering DNA recognized that the precision, the laser, technology is your future?
So laser industry really started in the 80s, but then in the 90s it started becoming a little bit more popular. And I had the opportunity to be exposed to it through some friends who are in the medical field. And I thought this is really interesting. And then, because the laser technology itself is not in a artificial, it's a man-made. It's a man-made technology that doesn't exist in this kind of form. It's a very selective way, like this light, taking a certain wavelength out of it and then using it selectively treat. So it was very interesting for me. And I said, wow, this is something that I like. And I got more involved and I said, maybe I want to do something. Maybe this was very in early days of this industry. So that's how I got involved. And I said, you know what? I want to make something. I want to do something in Korea. And so I used the resource to start this business. And, but it was like really hard. Super hard.
I can imagine. I mean, the question is, you're telling us that most of your exports and sales come from exports. And so
Exactly.
you're marketing to the world.
Exactly.
So how do you convince a world that a Korean company is able to produce and satisfy their need for the state-of-the-art?
That's a good point.
machinery?
Yeah, that was super hard. So, first of all, when I started developing first laser, my standard was I'm going to take this device. I'm going to go to the most prestigious show in America, medical trade show in America, and I'm going to put it right there, and everybody is going to say, wow, that was my standard. And then our first product, we made the first product. It was really hard to sell. So I went all over, and nobody's really interested in Korean product because there's no Kbeauty, there's no other, and there's no evidence. And American products they dominate the world, so they're not interested in our product. So I worked really, really hard, and then I worked with a distributor in Taiwan because it's nearby. Every time we did something new, interesting, I just sent him the information, and then he said, "Wow, this is interesting," and he came over. And he came and he tried our product. He said, "Wow, this is good," and he bought one unit. So that was my first sales. And when we were setting this up and these guys were trying it, that's how I realized that yes, we can do it. We can succeed. And so he introduced me to his friend in Japan, who is also a laser importer. And these guys they're all importing American products, which were great. They were the standard, right? So what is this Korean product? But he came. Initially, he didn't even come. I had lunch with him, and he said he sent this like very low-level sales guy. He came, he looked at it, he went back, and then he sent this very low-level service guy. And then he took a look at it. Then he sent the very high-level service guy, the head of the guy. He came and he took a look at it, and then next time, bunch of doctors came. The key doctors. They came and they tried our product, and then they went back. And I knew him from like 3 months. And then they ordered 1 unit, right? They bought 1 unit.
After all of that?
After all of that. This took me about a year. Took 1 unit. And then in about 6 months later, then they started ordering. Because they tried it and they did all their stuff and they said, wow, this is good, this works. And they became like really great customers. And so did other countries. We're very competitive to the US. We didn't sell that cheap. We sold it for the value of what it provided. And that's how we got started. So
yeah. So out of all this, as a Korean entrepreneur,
Yes.
what is the biggest lesson learned? I mean, if you were to advise someone that is younger wanting to follow your footsteps.
Sure. I say first, believe it. You can do it. So, but set the global standard. It's not about selling a couple of units, but it's becoming the world best, world leader. And it can be done. And if you fail, it's not failure, but it's a practice, right? That's really important. It's a practice. So, and a failure is opportunity looking for a solution. So if you see something that's not working, don't stop yourself saying it's why it's not working, but stop saying how I can make it work. So that kind of mindset, you're not born that way. People can be trained that way. So if you practice it, you can become like that. So I say that the possibility is open for everyone to be able to do that, but don't give up.
Yeah.
Right? The worst thing is give up. So.
Yeah. But one of the things I think, as you're talking about, that wasn't there when you started, but now there is Kbeauty.
Oh, absolutely, sure.
How big of a effect is Kbeauty on your industry?
So I would say as a synergy effect, because we've been doing this for a real long time, even before Kbeauty came along. Many efforts of many single people who are doing their best to provide something new, better, high level, add a value to the customers. And that's years of work. So Kbeauty, in a way that cosmetic makeup, feeling good, sunblocks and lotions, and people are doing a great job doing it. But there's a little less risk for people to adapt it. It can become fashion and trend if you find the good things. But at the same time, our customers are very conservative.
Well,
Doctors,
because they're
right?
making an investment when
absolutely.
they buy
If they do something wrong to their patients, they put their practice at risk, right? So they are very So in that way, you said there's Kbeauty. Oh, that's great. That's helping. But not like because of Kbeauty, now you're going to do lasers. Now it could be the other way because lasers work great. So K things must be great. So in the beginning, when I started, really when there were no competitors and we really tried to promote our products globally, like some low-level Korean companies came and said, well, we're the same Korean company, but we're 50% the less price.
Yeah.
But then every time they went there, they broke and didn't work. They didn't deliver the promise, right?
Yeah.
You have to have this kind of a level of investment into the device. It didn't work, so we survived, right? But now, there are other great companies that's coming on board, and it's great. That makes us work harder.
Yeah.
So
you're now, though, you're marketing to doctors, dermatologists. Is there a future where you see your machines in the hands of consumers?
Well, I wouldn't say hands of consumers, but I would say where consumers are aware of what we're doing. More like directed to consumer to educate. We never did that in the past, but I see the value in that because people need to be educated. And so we're going to put a lot of effort to make sure that people understand what we do, the clinical value of the products that we have, so that they'll go to doctors and get these treatments. So we're going to put a lot of effort to it. Now, hopefully, you'll be aware of it as well. So.
Yeah, I mean, so I'll be going to a dermatologist and asking for what is your best-selling product right now? What is the name of your best-selling product?
Our product now? Our product is two. One is called Ultra, and the other called Genius.
Genius.
These are number 1 and 2 products in the U.S. and worldwide. In Korea, not as much.
Yeah.
Korea is a little different, but Europe and the U.S. they're number 2 products.
So if I was in the U.S. or in Europe, I would say go to my dermatologist and say, do you have Genius? Can I use Genius? In our product.
That's what we hope.
That's what you're aiming
we're
for.
hoping. Yeah, right.
So we're not talking Genius in your hand.
Right. Also, doctors they're our partners, right? We don't want to compete with them, but we can provide things that helps their practice and helps their patients, linking between the clinic and the patient. So, what we do is going to provide in that way, not like, okay, we provide the product, now you don't have to go to the doctors.
Yeah.
But we're like, wow, this is what I can do at home.
Yeah.
And then now I can go to a doctor and then really expand and get better improvement.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we'll be waiting to see how well you do, how the market develops, and, in a year or two, coming back as the world leader.
Absolutely, we will do great. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark. Looking forward to that time.
Oh.
And I will be back next week with another globalist who's putting Korea on the map. Sunji out.